Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is Tennessee State University and the Maytown Center project. And our guest is Dr. DPadgett from Tennessee State University, who will give us some additional information in reference to the Maytown Center project. But first of all, Dr. Padgett, let's see if we might have you give us some information about Dr. DPadgett. Some information about your background, your education, and some of the things that were important in terms of leading you to Tennessee State University. And I also might add, Dr. Padgett, that our audience is probably familiar with you because you've been with us on a number of occasions. You gave us excellent information dealing with the chocolate cities, I think we called it at the time, urban America and some of the problems. And so that's why we wanted you back to deal with this problem specifically at Tennessee State University with the Maytown Center project. And of course, if you'll give us some information about your background, education, then we'll get started in reference to that.
Yes, I've been at Tennessee State University for 10 years. I'm an associate professor of geography. My areas of specialization are environmental studies, urban geography, of course, and geographic information systems, all three of which I'm using in my capacity as the director of the Maytown Center project. I've been the director of the Geographic Information Sciences Lab at Tennessee State University since 2000. And so we've worked on a number of projects in and around Nashville and other parts of the country, looking at urban problems, urban issues, especially those pertaining to the environment and land use change. And so this project, again, feeds off of my background, not only in earth sciences. I actually graduated from undergrad from Western Kentucky University with a degree in geology and geography, and also in my graduate background is in geography and geology and environmental studies at the University of Florida. And so between my undergraduate and graduate years, I worked as a physical scientist and geologist for the U.S. Bureau of Land Management in Nevada and California. And I've also conducted research on applications of geographic information systems at hazardous waste sites, and I did those studies at Oak Ridge National Lab about almost 20 years ago.
And so your background allows you in a real sense to deal specifically with what we're dealing with here now, the so-called Maytown Center project. Why don't you give us some information in reference to your position as project director for this particular project? Exactly what does that mean?
Well, we were given a $50,000 grant by the developers to look into the impacts of this project upon neighboring communities. And of course, with TSU being a historically black college and university, we're looking at the environmental perceptions of African Americans specifically with regard to this project, whether they happen to be residents, whether they happen to be council people, whether they happen to be on the planning commission, because there's a long history of environmental perception and environmental justice issues where African Americans have had interesting reactions to environmentally oriented projects such as the Maytown Center.
And so now what you're trying to do is to sort of gauge how that develops and to provide, in a real sense, information, I would imagine, in reference to that.
Yes, what we're doing with this information is we want to develop a model for HBCU private entity partnerships for urban and economic development. And so really the driving force behind any of these projects is the community, is the public, and especially the alumni, whoever happens to be affected. Our institution, that is TSU, can work with a private entity, in this case the May family and their partners, in developing our communities and bringing new buildings, new homes, grocery stores, whatever it is our communities need. And in many urban settings, in many urban communities that have HBCUs, we know that many times there's blight, there's vacant buildings, and underutilization of land.
And so this is something that you hope to be able to apply nationally in terms of historically black institutions of higher education. Is that what we're saying here?
Yes, and it's a special model. We know that Vanderbilt is very much involved in urban development, but they have millions and millions of dollars. They invested $99 million in the 100 Oaks small. We don't have $99 million. So we have to develop strategies where we leverage human power and influence in order to make change.
Oh, very good. And of course, Dr. Padgett, what we'll do, we'll take our first commercial break, and then we'll come back and we'll allow you to develop this idea of the project itself. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. The topic is